We're going to try to make this as painless as possible. This is not for the faint of heart. We're going to take a dive into all of your futures. Please don't be scared because the future is not all that bad. If you have ever written something like this, you'll understand how hard it is. So please keep that in mind and do not throw any objects that may cause injuries. So, now let's begin.
I bet you all thought Amy Anderson would go on to win 10 Nobel Prizes. But she said to heck with academics and began a football career with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Chris Becker, he becomes a private investigator called the Shadow.
Dave Goose, with her angelic and innocent face, soon shaves her head, tattoos her skull, and joins a biker gang.
Michael Buick took his nickname Pierogi to heart and opened a successful fast food chain called Pierogi Palace, but got sued by Co-op after they found out it was their pierogies he was selling.
Candace Chase became a victim of some rare cheek disease from smiling too much.
Jason Chiroka, with his abrasive good looks and his glistening smile, hits the supermodel status with his first cover of Field and Stream.
Boss, a.k.a. Jared Cockrell, spends 20 years in Stony Mountain after being caught masterminding the thefts of BMW mugs across Canada.
Ryan Cockrell takes over his dad's farm and becomes a successful albino donkey farmer.
Vanessa Cross, after climbing Mount Everest 14 times in 1 year, decides to retire at age 92.
Trevor Digby becomes a stunt car driver because of his good training in the first 2 years with his license.
Michelle Dixon gave up her bull wrestling days for something a little more boring, World Championship arm wrestling.
Brandy Emerson gets married and has 23 kids.
Blair Geringer becomes the bad boy of basketball and gets the NBA record for the most suspensions in one season.
Sorry, girls, but in the future, the Chippendales are in serious trouble until Sheldon Gregoire becomes the main star and saves them from financial ruin.
Rhea Hojnocki kicked the bucket and then got fired from KFC because of her bad habit of kicking things.
Chad Jones joins an organized crime family in Ontario and becomes a thug that breaks legs.
Due to her ability to smile non-stop, Carrie Kosminick takes over Vanna White's job on the wheels portion.
Joey Lamontagne took over Becker's Mill while demonstrating how to operate an auger. Accidentally, he cut off all his hair.
Eric Laviolette becomes principal of GLH and develops a new, stricter attendance policy to keep those hoodlums in school.
Tammy Leffler revolutionizes children's television with the huggable, lovable Pubert the Purple Porcupine. She then gets sued after kids across the world began injuring themselves hugging porcupines.
Melanie Listician says she's going to DeVry, but she finds it too hard and signs up on the rigs. We all knew she was a roughneck at heart.
Aspiring lawyer Trina Lichkowski takes over as OJ's defense lawyer. Those darn dimples you can fall into were her main weapons in proving OJ's innocence. Melissa McLeod became a late-night talk show host because of her talkative way through high school. Allison Malter and Raina Wilk were hired by the school to set up a sandwich stand. They got into a wee bit of trouble with the school board when students started to realize that they were selling them their own lunches.
Quiet Nancy Mann rebels and becomes the lead singer of a heavy metal band.
Timothy Moore and Richard Pope become the WWF Tag Team Champions after defeating the previous champs, the Criminal Connection.
Carlana Newton receives a Tide commercial contract after their scouts were convinced the stains on her shirt will never come out.
Charity Pancratz realized her true love in life is country music and opens a country and western pizza parlor.
Murray Schnell was only good at one thing through his high school years, and this ability carried him into the future. Yes, he became a professional lottery winner, winning $73 million on Sports Select. He also went to buy the Jets with a certain feature, but I will not name to save him from future embarrassment.
Corey Sheeman's future is rather shady. He will either become a race car driver or a tree surgeon.
Gail Piporowski opens her own driver training school and teaches everyone her amazing driving skills.
Tricia Simpson opens a psychic hotline and makes millions in revenue.
Gary Wallace becomes a TV evangelist and marries Tammy Faye Baker.
Trina Lovis makes her living reselling all the flowers sent to her by her male admirers.
Jason Miller becomes a roadie for the country group, the Rankin Family, and spreads joy and sunshine wherever he goes.
Eric Hojnocki becomes a professional speed walker after losing his license a second and third time.
Stephanie Agudinski dyes her hair green and leaves the country scene and goes into punk rock.
Kevin Paul, after graduating here today, the school realizes that Mouse was in fact one credit short and was forced to be kept in school for 20 more years.
Connie Switzer becomes a used car salesperson because of her smooth ways of persuading people.
Nadine Sudak created the all-time best-selling performance muffler. It was very economical because there was nothing there.
Finally, Kylie Roblin makes millions on his best-selling book, 1001 Excuses for Speeding.
That's it.
Thank you, Jason and Eric. I have some announcements to make, and we'll be just about finished. First of all, grads, you're asked to return to school immediately after the banquet for your group picture. Family members that wish to take their own pictures are quite welcome to do so, but we ask that you cooperate with the photographer so that he can get his work done quickly. Grads, parents, and escorts, please feel free to enter by the west side doors. There's lots of parking on the west side of the school. There are reserved seats for the escorts in the gym. And commencement exercises begin at 7:30 sharp, we hope. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes our banquet program. Thank you very much and a wonderful audience.